Now, last night I went on like a really big, deep marathon brewing session, and tried a lot of different stuff. And what the main thing that stuck last night was weirdly Vivi Cauldron. I've been getting a lot of questions like, Spike, have you tried Vivi Cauldron in Modern? Vivi Cauldron is broken in Standard. Have you tried it? And I'm like, I don't, I don't really understand it. I think it's probably not going to be that good. But I think there's a few things I kind of didn't understand about the standard build that made me hesitant to start here. So, so one thing too is I had watched Dingo play a couple different builds that I thought that the builds looked kind of bad too. But I think that there was also some errors in the deck building maybe too, or like I like one thing too is like I wanted to be playing like Mox Opal and like I wanted to be playing Tamio and Mox Amber because like those are obviously so good with Vivi. But like one big thing I misunderstood about the build is that you just don't cast Vivi that often. You really just want Vivi in the graveyard so you can Cauldron it, and that is your really crazy combo is Cauldroning your Vivi, and then everything has the ability to make this big buckets of mana, which lets you have these crazy powerful turns. That was something I kind of didn't understand. You can cast Vivi sometimes, of course, but for the most part, you're just trying to loot it away. And so I also kind of didn't understand how crazy Profits plus Fear of Missing Out was. This is so, and I imagine some of y'all are not as well, since you, a lot of y'all are more so modern players. But Profit says at the beginning of combat, you put a counter on a creature, which is X counters, which is X -1. X is the number of cards you draw this turn. And so because FOMO gives you 2 combat steps, you get to double the counters from Profits. And this is an archetype. We've played these kind of shells before, but between Mishra's Bauble and Street Wraith and Faithless Looting and Fear of Missing Out and Winternight Stories, you get to draw a lot of cards. And so Profits plus Fear of Missing Out goes really crazy. And so this is still like very much the same shell as Standard, where like this is the powerful stuff. Marauding Mako, the fact that like this is a deck that wants creatures with counters for the Cauldron ability and creatures that grow kind of exponentially. Like Mako is very good in the Standard build. It's much better in the Modern build where you get access to Wraith and Faithless Loot. And you get to kind of cut you in the Modern version. You get to trim just like all of the fat. You don't have to put like Riddler is like a good card, but this isn't an ephemerate deck. Like Riddler is not super duper impressive. You don't have to play like these like 3 mana looting creatures. You don't have to play Engineer. You get to play freaking Arena of Glory instead. You get to play the Mishra's Bauble, like just cracking on your opponent's turn, drawing on your turn, going for Profits has been really strong. Dragon Rage's Channeler to help fill up your graveyard, and then it's also just like a 3-power flyer. When you Cauldron your Vivi onto it, you make 4 mana. That's very strong. You can churn through your deck so well between DRC, Looting, Winternight Stories. You just get to go through your whole deck, and then you get to also set up for Temporal Trespass. If you can't just like combo kill your opponent with aggro, I've been really liking the Temporal Trespasses, letting you just finish your opponent off. Like one thing I found sometimes is that you make a huge Fear of Missing Out with Vivi Cauldron with Profits, and you have tons of mana, and you can flashback your Winternight Stories and Looting and Winternight Stories and Looting and Surveil. But it's Modern. You need to kill your opponent like that turn cycle when you go really big. So being able to dig for Trespass lets you do that. Kind of older tech. The blue on this is a little weird with all the red sources, but I think it's okay because you're mostly casting this when you symbol Cauldron Profits. Another thing that I like when I was testing this last night, I was like, my first draft I think was -1 Cauldron, -1 Profits, -2 Trespass, and I was playing 4 Hollow 1. And so like there's kind of like a weird dynamic when you play a deck with this much looting effect, right? Where it's like, you could be like, oh, I only need to play 3 Cauldrons because I have so much dig for it. I only need to play 3 Profits because I have so much dig for it. And then there's the opposite where like, oh, I can just play 4 and I can loot away extra copies. So I'm more in that camp now, but you always have to, there's always that weird decision point. Do I want to play less copies because I can dig for them, or more copies because I can loot them away? But both these cards have just been so insane in this build so far. I've been playing in leagues. I've been winning. I have lost a couple times to Ruby Storm, and that was another spell-based combo deck. It might have been Song of Creation. But I had a bunch of consigns in the sideboard. I'm like, I'm just too fast to really care about Eldrazi. So we have a lot of blue cards. So I think the Force of Negation are going to help us against spell-based combo, which has been a problem. But I have had a lot of turn 3 wins, which is very very important for these kind of decks to just be able to combo off and win on turn 3. I've had I think even more turn 3 wins than turn 4 wins with this deck so far, but maybe I've just kind of been running hot. And I guess the one big thing too is it's like, so this is kind of the standard package. I do think Winternight Stories is really important. I don't know, is the standard version as in on Winternight as we are? It might not be. But like this is kind of the standard package of cards, these 24. And these 18 modern only cards, I guess plus the arenas only. The arenas are like so important to like haste the FOMOs. But like these just all power up this package like much more than the standard version, which is of course the hurdle you need to jump through for this to be considerable. So I was very doubtful that this would work, but just kind of a complicated engine to understand. And I'm liking this as like a pretty early draft, and I think it's got a good amount of potential. So Whoosh, think with 55. Mulliganing this, I don't know. I was spacing out for a second. I don't love this one. I think we have to keep on 6 on the draw. And of course, gets a lot better if we just draw a Steam Vince. Oh, anti-casual. No, I see. On the draw against Boros, need that untap land. Guide of Souls think. That's the turn. Upkeep stop. Through the land. Let's go. I go and graveyard that, I think. I've been liking the Vivi deck off stream. We haven't played it a lot on stream today. But it's been really fun, and I've killed on turn 3 a lot of the time. Oh yeah, this is, I don't think we've played against Boros. Wait, is this the first time we played against Boros this week? That can't be the case. I think this is. Yeah, surely we've played against Boros another time this week, but all right, on the draw count's pretty high. Okay, taking 1 down to 16. I'm just happy to have drawn the land. Okay, we drew the Vivi for the Cauldron, which is big news. Yeah, I think we want to be casting the looting here. If we could find a Street Wraith so this could survive a Galvanic Discharge, that would be nice, but maybe not that necessary since they didn't seem to have Galvanic Discharge last turn. A land would be really good so I could Cauldron onto the Channeler, which would give me like just a lot of extra mana. They have the Flage, I guess that'll do her too. Alright, so land is nice. If not, we can still Cauldron like the Flage this turn and untap. And then Cauldron Vivi. Feeling the mulligan a little bit too. Yeah, this is kind of interesting too, because so next turn we get to go Channeler, Mako, Sharko, both with haste. Then we get to Cauldron the Vivi onto the Channeler. Keep Delirium, so that's 4 mana. Then we get to Flashback Looting, which makes the Mako Sharko's 3 mana. We just really need them to not draw Galvanic Discharge or Static Prison off of the Spyro. What are they discarding here? They're discarding 2 lands. We should be able to Trespass next turn if they just didn't draw a Discharge. Do I want to haste? I think I want to haste. Ooh, let's do it. Alright, so Channeler, Shark, Cauldron the Vivi. Oh, they don't have it. They were just reading. Okay, never mind. No, dude, why? I just can't dodge anything today. It's fine. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. We just do next turn. We still go Channeler, Flashback Looting, pop off. Matoya one of any of the surveil besides DRC. No other surveil besides DRC. Matoya could be kind of interesting. They flip a mountain. Not really something we want to draw, I guess. Okay, they just have a land. Okay, all my complaining, and we're still in pretty good shape here. So Channeler. I guess we already have. We don't need to tap the Cauldron. Oh, we do if we want. We need to put the counter here. So we exile another Vivi. I get to do this twice, right? Red, red, blue, red. Don't need to be too picky about the mana. I guess we want to keep this because it grows the shark, although maybe it's kind of painful. Should be okay. Discard these. Cycle the Wraith. We're gonna win this turn, I think. Want to activate this one again first. Red, blue, blue, red, blue. Flashback the looting again. Graveyard. Looking for some Winternight Stories. No, but we can take Profits. That might be lethal just by itself. I'm not sure how many cards we've drawn. Make blue, 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 blue. 1 land, 2 land, 1 channeler, 2 channeler, 3 channelers. Didn't find any Winternight Stories. That's okay. I guess we could maybe try to find one off the Surveil, but we just have lethal here with the extra turn. Yeah, the Vivi is just a very weirdly designed card, I agree. You don't need Surgical for Flage because you have the Cauldrons. I'm thinking this is a matchup where we can go down 1 Temporal Trespass if we want, maybe even 2. You want to trim the 4th Bauble and then maybe the 4th Profits. I did not play against Boros last night. Yeah, I was pretty sure you got to do Vivi twice, but I don't think I've ever done that before. Yeah, this is kind of what standard looks like, although like Street Wraith, Faithless Looting, Mishra's Bauble, Arena of Glory are all like really insane enablers for the strategy. Alright, so hold up Surveil / Fire Magic. Opponents on a 1-land mulligan, maybe? Oh no. Just relaxing over there. Keep that. Opponent's very likely to have some removal here. I think that's okay. I think I'm just gonna play the FOMO out, right? No. We should play the Profits. I don't want to just let them like cast the Flage and like kill my FOMO and have it not die to the Flage, or have it die to the Flage. There's an Ajani. Holding up a mana. Yeah, let's not just commit the FOMO into like a pretty obvious discharge. Let's just Fire Magic end of turn, and then maybe this lets them like discharge to save the Ajani, and then that could clear the way for the FOMO to get through. Now we'll here still left with the cat though. Alright, so I do think that they're going to have a removal spell for the FOMO, so let's not bank on this resolving. Could haste the shark. I think we'll save for a turn. Usually I'm discarding the Winternight Stories really aggressively, but we've been pretty flooded here, so seems okay to not. Save a Purge. I'm kind of thinking they're going to Flage my shark. See what they got on top over there. Just an Arid Mesa. So they might be doing some fishing for a Flage. This hasn't happened to me in a while. Oh, they're not. They Static Prison first on the shark. No energy in the pool. What could they be holding up for 4 mana? Oh, there are other parlors in the graveyard, and they're only playing 2. You should still. I think you should play 4 in Boros for whatever that's worth. Although then they showdown. Not good sequencing. They could have static prisoned, but this is the best possible for them here. All right, we've drawn 1 card for our profits, or yeah, and then our draw step doesn't count. Oh, sorry. I need to haste that, obviously. For a second, I thought I was going to tap it to the Winternight, but obviously that wasn't the case either. Discard the Street Wraith. That's okay. Oh, I guess I could still Winternight Stories second main phase. Unless I want to hold up the Fire Magic. I can Winternight after I put the counters on. I think that's okay. The Fire Magic may not be able to kill this cat token. Let's do some churning. Let's keep that. Okay, then discard 2 cards, Winternight and Steam Vents. So they have a bombardment on top, so they have a pretty powerful turn here. Not super likely to die. Shell with the 14, thank you, welcome back. Play that so they don't have to discard it. Interesting that they tapped the arena. That makes me feel kind of... Yeah, they're not going to be able to... Wait, have they played their land? Yeah, they played Marshflat, so they can't pass to Johnny this turn still. I'm down to 11. 1 card in their hand. They have a 4 energy in the pool, or 1 energy for a possible 4 damage Galvanic Discharge, which is going to be 1 short of killing this. What am I missing? Because this is 4 damage plus 2. And 4 plus 2, I think, is 6. Okay, they just make energy. They pass the turn. Okay. So we should be able to kill them here most of the time. Play a Channeler. I'm not going to haste this Channeler because I needed to flashback Winternight Stories. So right now, I'm going to be drawing 4 cards. Remember, Profits are legendary. Profts, not Profits, Profs. Looking for a Vivi. No Vivi, and... No Vivi, not yet at least. And we don't have the triple blue right now for the Temporal Trespass. We get 3 more looks out of Vivi to go with the Cauldron. But this I think we might just have lethal. FOMO is also lethal for sure if we haven't drawn enough cards yet. Okay, well, that's on my list. Maybe the other card is a Vivi. Oh, I guess we had 4 looks because we had the Channeler, right? So we discard 1 Cauldron. Ace the FOMO. And then we get to I don't like 10 counters twice. In incalculable amounts. That's the nice thing about playing online, I guess. There's Vivi. So we would have been able to Vivi Cauldron, not that we needed to. Oh, looks like we had lethal without the FOMO anyways, but then we would have been able to get a second combat step to put the second amount of counters on with the profs there. I'm gonna keep this. We've got a lot of pieces. This hand's doesn't only need to draw a land either. It's good if it draws a land, but like looting or like land FOMO is pretty good. Also maybe surveil Vivi, a different Vivi into the yard. Yeah, I had like a Phoenix or 2, and I decided to just play Trespasses instead. Because like a lot of times you just make a ton of mana with profs, and then you need to like still win. And so I think Trespass is the best way to do that. But like at the very least, Detective's Phoenix doesn't help. I mean, I would really, really, really love to have this, but we do need the mana here. Wait, there's only 4 matches left? It's 40 minutes on the clock, though. We could finish one. We're lucky. I gotta fill the time, too. The counterspell in their hand, but they lead on the basic planes, and they Prismatic Ending my Channeler. We draw a card. A little bit of a yikes. One more look. Oh, we had the Surveil, the Bauble draw, the draw step, the Street Wraith, and 2 looting looks, but you're gonna miss sometimes. Alright, we hit. So we know they have Counterspell in their hand, so let's get the Cauldron down. Maybe they have another ending, maybe they have a snare, but we know they have Counterspell from the Bauble. Yeah, Force is okay, so they're down to 3 cards in their hand. Would you try slotting Monuments of Endurance over Trespass? Well, that doesn't like solve the problem of killing your opponent immediately when you pop off, right? This is what I want: a couple of cards that will kill my opponent if I've made a lot of value with profs and I have a ton of mana and I can churn through my deck, but I've already attacked. Like, this is a situation I found myself in a few times yesterday. Again, I've made a lot of mana, I've attacked, and I need to kill my opponent before they combo kill me because this is modern and not standard. So, I believe Trespass is the best card. If any card you suggest here doesn't like fulfill that qualification, I'm not going to be that interested in it because that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so we can flashback the Winternight for 1 mana next turn. The Fling Land? That could work. I think I just want them to counterspell Vivi here. I don't know that it's better than Trespass, but that could work. I don't think Ballista is enough, and like, but it could work too. Ballista is an option. It's worth testing probably. So this is going to put at least 3 counters on this. Okay, very happy to draw a Cauldron. I did hit my land drop right. I think we'll just discard the Shark though. Kind of want the other Winternight in the yard. This is the kind of game where it's okay not to though. Scarlet with the 35 months, welcome back. If Braga was playable modern, would he be playable? I'm like very loosely familiar with that card from my Commander days. No, oh, no, this is the Conspiracy card. No, this would not be a modern playable card. Too fragile. Gotta untap and then hit your opponent with it. No one's ever done that before. Okay, so they wrathed me, but we get to rebuild. Oh, okay. So let me keep a haste mana floating. I do think Arena is like, I don't know if it's the biggest like enabler that we have in this format compared to the standard version, but it seems like a huge deal to me. So are the last 2 cards Force blue card? Okay. We get to Cauldron the Vivi. The last cards are Solitude. Okay, so do I want to cast Looting from my hand here? I think we'll just play this a bit slower. They have nothing in their hand. We have a Vivi underneath the Cauldron. Crispy with the tier 1 for 6 in advance. Let's go. I'll get me through the honeymoon. And they top deck Prismatic Ending, but we're still very ahead. Cast a Winternight. Discard a Winternight and probably an Arena. Try to set up for a big turn with this, not just like throw it away. I want to keep the 4th blue so I could draw just a Vivi and then go Vivi Trespass. There we go. Shout out Walking Ballista. This seems a little bit better. So not looting. Bing. Right, not gonna cast the looting and just mill 2. Bing. Bing. Cycle the Wraith. So, do I want to try to kill this turn? I think I want to. I mean, obviously, it's a good thing to try to do, right? So that and what that means is not tapping the Arena of Glory. Like I get the extra Vivi mana if I do this. So I can activate this again. Let's cast the looting first. There's a Marco Sharko, so I could haste that maybe. And start casting some stuff. Then make some mana off the shark too. So let's go. Haste this. Activate the VV again for 6, and I'm just gonna not tap the Marco Sharko. Blue. One blue, one red. Flashback another Winternight. Discard. Oh, I guess I just play the Profts. So I can make a ton of mana in my second main phase to dig for the second Trespass. Although this might just be lethal. Let's go ahead and at least lethal like the VV pings. No, that's just lethal. 15. It works. Parentheses. It works in the stream title. I think we've made VV Cauldron kind of playable in this format. Definitely a difficult deck to work on. All right, let's bring in like 3 Force of Negations for like Wrath the Skies. I don't think we want the full play set. I think trimming a Profts is okay. Trimming a Bauble's okay. Maybe 2 Baubles. Yeah, Wraith is insane in this deck. It's like the best Street Wraith deck we've played in years. Maybe I think maybe with the Force of Negations we don't need the second Trespass. Actually, maybe Force of Negation is just kind of better than Trespass because instead of in this matchup it seems like we can make a big board and just hold up Force of Negations. Let's try that. Hopefully it's just playable, not a great deck. Yeah, I don't expect this deck to be busted. Probably not. It hasn't been busted when I've been playing. It's been good though. What kind of card would you design to help artifact decks against Wrath of Skies? I would design Wrath of Skies as banned in Modern. That's what I would design. The card is just way too efficient in my opinion. I think we'll play this one a little slower since we're against control. Just Surveil turn 1. Value Town. I think 1 blue-red MDFC could be good. That's like the energy one that loots, right? Okay, Nile Spellbomb. I think we're gonna again play this a little slow. I think we just get the Cauldron down. Pre-rotation, the VV decks were playing Thrill Seeker as kill button. I doubt that's better than having Ballista. The thing is, you need so many resources for the Ballista to be good. I think that I think it's tough. I do think Trespass is the best because like you saw last game, like I wasn't doing just the thing. I was, we were having kind of a more normal game. We were trying to stumble together a win through some interaction, and we just went VV Trespass win the game without any Cauldron stuff at all. Which is why I like it more than I like the idea of ballistas and stuff, but it's a combo. Right, so we'll flashback the Winternight before they can get their spell bomb going. Okay, so we'll discard the VV. Maybe this just can get the spell bomb out of the hand. I don't play a lot of Modern with the amount of card draw and free non-creature spells. Why nobody play Artist Talent or Prophet? We're playing Profts right now, and Artist Talent seems playing Storm. But you also say the amount of card draw and free non-creature spells. Like there's a lot of stuff that goes well with those things. You know what I mean? It's okay. So let's go ahead and Cauldron the VV now. So if they want a Nile Spellbomb, they have to crack it and not get a card. And they say no thanks. I have Wrath the Skies. So it's like. There's a ton of non-creature spells and free card draw. Like those things are good with other stuff too, Those things are good with like most things. If they Wrath though, they still have to lose a kind of a 2 for 2. You can go back to the beginning of the stream and look at the anti-casual deck tech. So they have an ending instead. Okay. Not as bad as a Wrath, I guess. Maybe they have both. Okay, it's an interesting pickup. Let's lead on the Faithless Looting. Yeah, this is... I wanted to find this Arena of Glory. We have found it. We don't have Delirium, though. And they could keep me off the Delirium anyways. I think I'm still hasting this. I don't think they're going to be ready for this Force of Negation. Fire Magic for Boros, Bowmaster Affinity. Yep. Sam combo too, I guess. Okay, round 2 of the challenge is about to start. Let's hopefully just force this Wrath the Skies and then end this match. Should be 2-0 in this. Profs find a hub and more classic style Enchantress list. Seems unlikely. Like the situations where you're drawing a lot of cards with Enchantress, it's not really like you need like to buff creatures in those spots for your deck to be good. Of Solitude? Prismatic Ending? Ending, they're dead still. They have to have Solitude, but they're dead to Winternight Stories, growing the Marco Sharko. This one. They can't have Force and Solitude because they only have 3 cards. Okay, so we're 2-0 in this league. Alright, mulligan on the draw. Sorry about that, opponent. It's been almost a year since looting a ban. Obviously, it didn't become the best card in Modern. Am I still happy in effect like it's in Modern? I am happy, yeah. I was like pretty scared of it, but you know, like not you know, trying to turn everything into MH3 complaints, but just the power level of the format raised with MH3 even like more than I realized, I think, is really kind of how it feels. And I think the power level raised so much that that looting and the strategies looting enabled just are not, they just kind of keep up, you know. All right, land. Nice. Maybe a little bit painful to bolt in here if they're prowess. I think the island means they're not prowess. What made me decide Vivi Cauldron works? Well, just like a lot of off-stream testing and tuning, you know. I was a real marathon session last night, and like I wasn't sure that it would until I tried it, and I was pretty impressed by it. Is the short answer. I was like I was watching a little bit of like Dingo's VOD on the deck, and like I just felt like his curve was too high, but I did feel like there was a good enough like interesting things going on that I was pretty interested in trying it here. Okay, so now we get Delirium. We get to Graveyard this to pop off, but the deck has really been very, very impressive, I think. I had a lot of turn 3 kills yesterday, which was really, that was really like, I don't think we've killed on turn 3 today, but I had like 3 in a row yesterday. I'm like, okay, this will make the stream. But of course, you just really never know how good a deck's going to be until you play some with it. All right, into all this open mana against counterspell.deck, let's just play the Winternight Stories here. Maybe we should have kept that to discard to the Winternight Stories. Creature. And then next turn we can maybe bait a counterspell on the Profs, and then... Okay, they probably don't have a removal spell if they let me attack with the FOMO. I think I'm still untapping the FOMO, though. Because I'd think they'd rather kill this. They do have the removal spell. What was my biggest miss in EOE evaluation? You know, I definitely don't get everything right all the time, but I think I was pretty on point with EOE. Like I thought Riddler would be the best card. Okay, that doesn't matter. I don't know. I don't know that I really had many misses with EOE. I'm not sure what the biggest would be. Let me know if I'm forgetting something. Alright, so hopefully they don't have a snare. Oh, they have a flare. I guess I forgot to hope for that. Let's graveyard that. We can flash that back. I was about to combo off. We're playing against Blue Moon in 2025. This is our second Blue Moon opponent this league. I don't know what Discord posted it, but it's kind of popular at the moment. A combo is like really on the rise too. You know, it's not that surprising. I would think. All right, looking for another Cauldron. We do have a basic island in the deck. Red cards would be good. Here's a red card. I'm gonna keep the Steam Vincent hand to loot away. Alright, so my Channeler is gonna die, so we will need to draw something else. At some point. Wait, they didn't cast this last turn? So they have like a counter spell of some kind? They grab a Flame of Anor, that's pretty bad. Okay, might lose this one. Whole lot of nothing. So they have Flame, and then what are they drawing? They're drawing an island. I swear I've got some good cards in the deck still, but... Only playing 18 lands. Not, okay, I guess making them only one mode the Flame is kind of a win. So I'm down to 7. We draw a Looting. Cast a Channeler. Cast a Looting. I like I'm gonna find my basic island at this point. Not yet though. 2 lethal attackers. Okay, they don't have a Flame. I guess we might win after all. They just did nothing. All right, weird game. Let's go. Our opponents have been so fun this week. Like everything's a brew. Everything is so weird right now, and I don't really know why. So we played this matchup last time. This league we just did in sideboard. I do wonder if the forces are better than the trespasses. I think against this deck probably not. I'm just gonna try to prioritize fetching island if I draw a Scalding Tarn. No Manamorphose at the deck. It's like Manamorphose is kind of only good if you have Vivi in play and you don't try to have Vivi in play that often. That was something I really just didn't realize about the Vivi Cauldron deck. Is like you're just trying to discard Vivi, and like a lot of times like you cast it to bait out a removal spell so it dies and you get to Cauldron it. I didn't realize how like you almost never want to cast it. And then you can Cauldron multiple VVs and get multiple activations. Do some really dumb stuff. Manamorphose is beneficial memory. That's true. That's true. Like a surveillable channel. Like it does some stuff. The downside, of course, like with Manamorphose is like it makes your mulligans really weird. This I think on the draw against control we're gonna keep. We're 1-1 in the challenge at the moment. Vivi without Cauldron is overrated. I think I would say I agree. Although I don't even necessarily feel like, do people even like Vivi without Cauldron? Okay, usually I would crack the Bauble on my opponent's turn for Profs, although we're not going to Profs, and we could maybe draw a second Street Wraith to block the Ragavan and eat it in combat. I'm going to block the Ragavan either way. We have a Preordain. So let's high roll a second Street Wraith. Well, we'll take the land. I do think this is a game where we might want to be casting the Vivi. I'm going to discard the Winternight Stories too. Might just go Shark and Looting next turn, though. What did they reveal? They revealed a Preordain, right? Moon? Okay, they kept Blood Moon in, which I'm pretty happy about, I guess. It was pretty good against me last game, but I just think it's not a great card overall. They Surgical by Winternight Stories. Resolves. The free mana in blue seems like a danger precedent. It's trivial for Is it to turn mana into extra card selection. Sure. I don't think that this is going to be like a long-term problematic deck for Modern, if that's what you're trying to get at. For whatever that's worth. All right, want to play the Shark first so we can grow it. All right, can't cast the blue cards. We'll discard the blue cards. Don't quite have Delirium. We could have Delirium if we discarded the FOMO, but that didn't seem super wise. Maybe we'll discard next turn and just go Shark Looting card. 4 cards in there, him. So maybe they have like a Galvanic Discharge or a Bolt, and they're waiting to discard or respond to like another discard effect. So I was thinking that maybe I could Street Wraith in response to that. I guess I still could if they have it. Maybe got a little cute there. Maybe I'm a little cute all the time. All right, well, let's attack. Untap my 6/6 Sharko. It's pretty hard for them to kill it since they kind of cap out at 5 damage with Flame. They have something like a Sink. Okay, they do have something like a Sink. This is just starting close to the standard list. Yeah, so I thought that when I was building this deck, I thought that I should be looking for like other payoffs for like the package, right? I thought I should be looking for other payoffs for the stuff, but the combo of like Vivi Cauldron just lets you churn through your deck with Winternight Stories, and like Looting is another like enabler that's not in the standard version. But the combo just lets you churn through your deck really well without having another payoff. And so like that was kind of the way Dingo had built his list. It was a bit bigger, and so I realized that instead you just play the broken enablers. So you play Bauble, Wraith, Looting, Arena, TRC, and these are all so good in the archetype. And then Temporal Trespass lets you close games that you would have trouble closing. Yeah, it just came together nice, I guess. All right, let me go Channeler into Cauldron here. I think I might Cauldron the Vivi. Yeah, let's go ahead and draw that off the Lootings. I'm gonna put the counter on FOMO. They're gonna make 3 red mana. 1, 2, 3. Flashback Looting. Keep the profs on top. 1, 2. And this is 6 power. Blue, 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 red, red, red. I don't think I want another one of those right now. Draw a card. Alright, they concede. Okay, so we're 3-0 in this league. We haven't lost a game, actually. That's kind of... maybe we should mulligan this. I guess we can just try. Seagate Restoration, maybe. Well, the thing is, you still need you need to wait for your opponent to be dead on these turns, because this is Modern. And your opponents are going to untap and kill you or wrath you. You know, like every opponent's going to untap and kill you a lot of the time. I think the first Sorcerer Scheme is better than second Trespass. Return instant or sorcery from the graveyard. Next up, flashback. Add red. Pretty sure this card isn't Modern legal, but if it is, I don't really get it either, honestly. You're gonna look at Exalted Sunborn. Apparently, it triggers a Johnny's damage twice. We did know that, and I think that's not important. I know I have 2 of them, but I think it's more important to resolve against the relic. It's probably Merfolk, right? If you pass with 2 Force, they probably can't kill. Yeah, Force might be better than the Trespasses. It kind of depends on the metagame, too. Okay, Relic and Frog, so they're a Ketchamos deck. So I think we want to play the Cauldron this turn. Maybe we want to play Vivi. I think Vivi's a little weak to Solitude. I guess we're kind of weak to Solitude anyways. I think what's nice about playing the Cauldron is that if they tap out for Ketchamos, we can really pop off. I'm not gonna think that they're like a reanimator deck if they're playing Relic, so I'm just gonna exile this to make their Frog a little bit worse. But if they tap out and don't have a Solitude, we should be able to win next turn. And again, with the Relic, I think them having a Ketchamos is somewhat likely, at least. Wait, they don't tap out. Alright, let's cast the Winternight Stories. Don't know how much counter magic a deck like this can have. Hopefully not too much. Okay, so I think I'll just discard one Vivi. And then let's make them pop the Relic. And get this to 4/4. And then bigger, obviously, with the Profs too. I think with the Profs in play, I'm not gonna try to get just max value, but that's okay. Back for 8. They don't have a removal spell. They don't. This is good. They have a Felia. Okay. It's Final Fantasy. It's flashback spell when going off. Yeah, I just don't understand. Like, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard or exile card to flashback. So it just returns. Like one thing is, I'm not super into the idea of these cards that are only good when you're going off. Like the problem with every suggestion that isn't Temporal Trespass, Walking Ballista, this card, whatever other card like Flings, is those cards are only good when you're comboing off. Comboing off is also something you're going to win with Temporal Trespass like every single time almost. And Trespass is good sometimes without you comboing off. So like earlier this league, we just cast Vivi, cast Trespass, won the game, which is not something you can do with like any of these other cards that get suggested. So until someone kind of solves that for me, I'm not. I just need like the answer to that question. You know, I don't need just these random stuff, honestly. Okay. Not very good draws. We've drawn one card for the Profs. They have 6 mana up or 6 cards in hand and 4 mana up, so hard for them to have nothing either. Yeah, I think Trespass is just the best card. I'm open to there being something better, but I just kind of need to get sold a little bit, you know. All right, so let's go to our second main phase or combat. 2 counters here. So I can go like off of this. I can go like cast Winternight Stories. If they don't do anything, I can go cast Winternight Stories, discard Vivi, Cauldron onto the Marco Sharko, cast Temporal Trespass, and then that should be a win. But they have a lot of cards in hand, so probably not going to work. Okay, it worked. No attacks. Well, I mean, work part 1. Cast the Stories. Another Vivi ping. What about the Cleave extra turn spell? Why is that better than Temporal Trespass? You know, it's similar. It could be better, but I just kind of need to hear our argument, I guess. So I think I need to go 2 cards here so that the shark gets the extra power. I guess I have the extra power anyways, but shouldn't be that big a deal. Now, if they only have 1 removal spell, I still actually get to cast the Trespass because the Cauldron exiling the Vivi. The Cauldron exiling the Vivi gives the other Vivi this ability again. I mean, they haven't done anything yet. I don't know what they have. Probably Solitude. Hard to imagine it's Solitude and Ephemerate. Okay, well, we can make the mana. Like, they already have counters on them, so we're going to be able to cast this Temporal Trespass. Is this deck softer than Solitude? Softer than what? I don't I don't actually know which is better to activate first. Probably the shark, because the VV in play is just going to ping them. So let's make blue, 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 red. Then let's cast the Winternight Stories with flashback first. What was the downside to exerting on the arena this turn? It dying to a removal spell. Okay, so make 2 red, 3 blue. Guess red's fine. So let me cast this, just get this on the stack, see if this is going to resolve before we do anything else. Why not cast out the Mock Shark first? I wasn't sure I was going to use it, but maybe I should have. Okay. Well, I don't know what they had. I don't know how they have 6 cards in hand and nothing, but stranger things have happened. Yeah, Bowmasters are a problem. They're a solvable problem because you can board and removal spells. It's very hard to beat that card if people have it. Bowmasters is not very popular at the moment, so it's kind of okay to just say you're weak to that card, I think. Them being on Relic kind of sucks for these trespasses. Maybe it's okay. I do think that they go over the top a little bit. I think right now just saying we're very weak to Bowmasters is okay, and that you're just going to rarely run into them. Cool looking hand. Let's keep. No, you're way too color intensive to play Saga, nor do you make that many artifacts, nor do you have something busted to tutor up. For me, you know, I know it's still early, but like I don't think we need to reinvent the wheel. Like literally, I think that I'm so confident in in these 58 cards main deck. I think the trespasses are the best option in this slot. You could maybe pick something else besides the trespasses. And then the sideboard probably needs some tuning. But I'm feeling very confident about the main deck. I like more confident than most new brews. Yeah, the Spike Field Hazard could be good if Bowmasters is popular. Opal isn't like nothing in your OGVV deck. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to build this deck with Opal. Right now, we're very far away from Opal, so you could still go back to like those drafts and play it, of course. But like the way the deck is now, it's very different from how it was in those early days. They find another Felly up the first Overlord. They find a Solitude, we can get like Solitude locked, of course. Conflagrate. Conflagrate could be good. I don't know that it's better than Trespass, because again, Trespass is just good in a lot of situations where you're not popping off. I do like that you could discard or surveil Conflagrate for some value, so that's a really good argument for it. I guess we should just cycle the Wraith first. I don't know if I want to cast the Looting now. The Looting is so valuable next turn with the Profs. Yeah, I think I'll just not. Yeah, they Solitude. That's okay, but they're gonna be able to keep buying it back. Is FOMO critical? FOMO is really, really good. It's insane with profs. And then like the other thing with FOMO is like just being like a DRC Marco Sharko FOMO profs deck is you just have like a lot of fast wins with it that don't involve Vivi, which I think is really important too. Okay, do return Solitude. We're taking 8. Could probably be going to game 3. Yeah, let's just go to game 3, I think. Try not to get double queued. I think we'll just run it back again. There's 2 matches still in progress, 47 minutes on the clock. Hopefully we can just have a fast win game 3 before 0 in the league, then win every round of the challenge, then never lose a match again, and then get arrested by the CIA for my psychic abilities. Too bad I can't fit Shredder. Okay, so the problem with Shredder, I saw Dingo had Shredder in his build. The problem with Shredder is that so often when you're going on, and also I had Steel Cutter. I forgot I had Steel Cutter in an early draft. This was the problem with Steel Cutter. I played one game with Steel Cutter and I realized it's about Shredder, and I immediately dropped the league. You're so often you're casting a bunch of stuff. Captain Mulligan Double Arena. You're casting a bunch of stuff, and then you're drawing into other things, and you need those other things to do stuff. You need the cards you're drawing into to do stuff. But because you're playing all these spells first. It's very awkward to. Okay. So if I cycle the Wraith, nothing is going to happen good for me. So let's just pass. So like when you play the Shredder, nothing happens because you've already cast 2 spells a turn. It's the same problem with Steel Cutter. Is you cast a bunch of spells and then these cards just do nothing on the rest of your turn. All right, another not a land. Let's draw a land. I've had draw a land. Take FOMO, because that makes sense. Not like this. I guess looting is bad. Not a lot going on here, though. Yeah, Mole, the Thoughtseize, Wildlander. That's how you don't trophy a league. Just give me my draw from last game. Just on the play from last game. Devil's Play. So, like, do you think Devil's Play is better than Trespass? Because that's also the thing too. Is like, whenever we're looking for like this kind of effect, we get all these comments, which are it's nice, but like, and like these other things that work, but I just need like a concrete argument why it's better than what we're doing. Come on, come down. Okay, so if we can get the Cauldron on the Vivi before the Relic is popped, that would be nice. Maybe they'll just pop it into turn, though. They don't. Also, no Surveil. That's weird. Yeah, it's good that they don't have Threats. They don't have Ketramos here. They have Felia this time, though. Again, this is gonna be a tough game to win. Do we know when full Spider-Man spoilers are out? Yeah, it's probably soon. Argument is you end up bidding Trespass most of the time. I guess that hasn't exactly been my experience, but I think that's a good argument for one of the flashback cards. But I'm not even saying that y'all are wrong when I say I need an argument. I just need the feedback. I can't just have the cards yelled at me. Yeah, you're only ever using the flashback if you're popping off. Rose playing a standard deck. We're 3-0. So just cast Winternight. I'll discard Trespass Looting. Shout out Devil's Play. They have a Felia now. Aren't you only casting Trespass popping off? No, we've won a match this league just because we just like cast Vivi, cast Trespass, won. Like your deck is like passively filling up the yard with Looting and Channeler and Bauble and Street Wraith. So a lot of times you just cast your threats and then take an extra turn for 3 mana. Then lose to Felia, Riddler. I think seeing what my top card here is actually pretty helpful. Okay, so let's cast FOMO, discard Winternight Stories, draw the Wraith, cycle the Wraith, get pushed, see if we draw another creature. Gonna be pretty big. They can reset the counters with the Felia though, which kind of stinks. Yeah, thought they'd have another push. Yeah, probably dead this game. Round 3 of the challenge is about to start, so we might be 3-1 this league. Let's see what happens here. Not flickering the Riddler, just trying to kill me in 2 turns. 3 cards in their hand. Maybe has like a Solitude here. I just draw a Cauldron. Not a lot we can do with that. All right, let's go to round 3 of the challenge. That was like a game of cube right there. This hand's really close. If the looting was, if the arena was untapped, we could play the looting. Maybe we could go down an arena. We do keep kind of running into that issue. Yeah, I mean it's tough to play Ode of War and Besage You because your mana's so tough. But yeah, I think having one is probably good. I was kind of torn between Besage You and Reflecting Pool. Also just have like Force of Vigors in the board maybe. Although you don't really want to board him in that matchup. You also have like Consigns and Force of Negations for bridge. The bottom second FOMO. 3-1 in this league with Vivi Cauldron. Been really liking the deck. At the moment, I'm pretty inclined to play this in Monday's challenge. Certainly keeping that. What are we up against? Prowess. Cool. Great to be on the play. Now we're going to have Delirium. Best draw Vivi. You cut a spell for one lands. That's true. I don't know what spell you'd cut. You could. So it's good that the Channeler can block a show off next turn, potentially. We're 2-1 in the challenge today. Beat Eldrazi, beat Prowess, and lost to Sam combo. We're going to put it all the way down to 15. Even life totals here. So they paused a long time on their attack last turn. Makes me think they have mutagenic growth. I think I'm just going to double block. That's worse. That's not did not play around that one, huh? Okay, well we don't take any damage. We get to make a kind of a big FOMO. We could maybe weirdly win if we drew like Wraith into Wraith. Okay. Not quite that lucky. That being said, we should be presenting lethal next turn. So I think we just don't I don't think we make this attack. Right. Fast iteration. Try to live. They exile Preordain. Do they have a Boo land? Oh, there it is. After some thought. I think maybe what they're looking at is do they have Delirium for Violent Urge and they are missing a creature or artifact. So this is 9 damage coming in at the moment. They didn't move this over. So if they have Bolt, I go to 12, and then I take 7 plus 5, which is exactly 12. But if I block here, I don't think I have any avenue to victory against Bolt, like if my FOMO dies here. So let's not play around it. And this no block can maybe beat Violent Urge. Super duper duper dead to Dart. I'm gonna play for next game. I'm gonna play Forces over the Trespasses against them on the play, and then only one match in progress in the challenge. First match 10 minutes, second 7. They're still going. Probably over pretty soon. I'm going to take some time to sideboard, as is going to happen against weird decks like this. Think about Just Guy's Ascendancy. Is it just worse than Affinity that loses to more hate? It isn't just that. Like, the fact that it makes your deck like meaningfully faster matters a lot. I would say I feel generally positive about it. It would be the short answer. Okay, let's graveyard a FOMO for immediate delirium. Yeah, I probably need backup creature here. How do I feel the Vivi deck is positioned? I don't know yet. Like I built the deck yesterday and I've been having a positive win record with it and feeling like it's powerful and I'm killing my opponents fast. I don't know. I haven't played against Boros once. But I'm feeling generally good about it too. Too early to tell. Yeah, I think we play the Prophets. It's at least 2 counters. We might also get to surveil Delirium between this and the Bauble. So we would have if we had done it first. Obviously, no way to know. Yeah, we want to draw that so that our Proft's next turn is more effective. Would it be nice to have Delirium here, though? How do you feel about... Yeah, I'm okay if they have Mutagenic Growth and they block and we get a 2-for-1. That's fine. Yeah, I thought about playing Riddler, but I realized pretty quickly that, like... Or at least this is my take. That the standard build of Vivi Cauldron plays Riddler because the standard build lacks good, cheap enablers. So you need kind of bigger ways to go off. The modern version has Faithless Looting, we've got Street Wraith, we have Bauble, we have Arena of Glory, we have Dragon Rage's Channeler. And like it's, in my opinion, the combination of these cards allows you to build this deck in a way that the really powerful stuff gets to shine more instead of just trying to play like Riddler in a deck that it's not like a super good Riddler deck. You know, we're not flickering stuff. Like Riddler is just kind of like a creature, a creature card draw source. But I think when I was very first building the deck last night, I was thinking I would end up playing Riddler. If I draw FOMO might be lethal if I can also find land for the looting. Let's go ahead and start off by, well, maybe I want to play the shark. Pretty bad if I can't also looting this. Oh, I can looting. Okay, let's play the shark. So profs count 2 because I have the Bauble and the Wraith now. Okay, so now profs count is 4, and then my shark is 4, and I brick. So are we going to attack for 8 and hope to not be dead to these? I think that's an okay plan here. I think it's also got to be the plan with round 4 about to start. Have you warped Driller and tapped it to Winternight and drew 4? No, but it's also just kind of slow for the modern version, I think. Not 100% sure. So this is 5 plus 5. That's 10. That's 10. So they're probably just going to attack. Oh, they're only attack for 5, huh? They have 3 cards left in their hand. This staying tapped is a big problemo. That did not have an untapped arena for lethal here. Okay, we can super duper combo off next turn. Round 4 of the challenge is about to start. I just kind of want to see if this... I just want to finish this game, and then we'll scoop the match. Seems like we're dead. So 3-0 to 3-2 here. Moving back over to the challenge where we are 2-1 on the draw for game 3. I'm going to keep my 7 on the draw. I think our opponent.